I am a child of sin. I turned my back on God at the altar before I made it through my first communion. Born from sin and constantly revisiting the shrine in my mind from which I was resurrected, bathing over and over again in the blood of the Antichrist himself, in an eternal hell that I created where I walk alone, which by definition is the isolation from others. Abandoned, deserted, and detached, yet somehow never lonely, because I've grown accustomed to the lifestyle that comes as a result of the demonic being clinching the appendages of my form. Claws tempered ablaze with the hours of wasted days, hook under the meaty flesh of this body, a sacrificial monument, cauterizing the tissue before I have a chance to bleed, spawning scars which overlay rotten skin, the covering of an old directionless excuse of a human. Now, where I come from, people don't really understand how it feels to have everything dropped at my feet, and to be willing to set fire to the bounty for no reason other than to dance in the light of the beautiful flames, and for that momentary high from the fumes of watching my every wish melt before my eyes, yet too entranced to do a damn thing about it, so I bask in the glory of such a mad possession of sadness. Once labeled an addict, the name follows in the shadows for as long as I walk this earth, reaching towards the core of my existence with its wispy finger-like projections, as the name itself, Addict, and each phlegm-casted daunting syllable lingers. The air in the room becomes stale with broken promises and disappointed hopes for the sort of life that could have been before such a tantalizing name took hold of my hand and led me astray from the light at such a young age, teaching me to love the cold, bitter darkness. A place where nobody would dare come seek. The game from then on became just hide. Hide from the light and I'll be safe. Nobody will be brave enough to put their own life at risk to pluck me, bring me back in their hand like a flower, and keep me on display in a vase, white and pure as the flower of death itself. The same lily that will be present at a wedding. My wedding in a blossoming garden in April that I didn't think I'd live long enough to see. The same wedding I close my eyes to attend at night when I can pretend that I wasn't exiled to live a life of solitude in this purgatory, where I shall reside my entire lifetime, until my body withers in the heat and I lay down to die. See, now I live on borrowed time. A second chance always comes with the price of having to stare death in the face. Haunted with disgust at the very idea that there was a time where I would lay life itself on the line, just to have one more line. Existing momentarily between the seconds of time, only living long enough to go from high to high. But see, now on borrowed time, I have to figure out how to live a life without getting high. Remind myself every single day to stay clean, no matter how hard that may seem.